everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a review for the film Gran Turismo 2023. This is a PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 15 minutes. Now, if you are one of our patrons, you're watching this way in advance because I was able to watch this film a couple of weeks before the release. And if you're not, then think about joining our Patreon where you can get some early videos like this one and some other stuff. So make sure to check that out in the description. But let's get into it. So as of the recording of this video, this film has a Rotten Tomato score of 56%. It's so early that when I'm making this that it doesn't even have we don't even have an audience score yet. Now, obviously, my score, and I think I feel way better about this film than 56%. I think the critics are being a little harsh on this one. I think I do. I think they are lumping it in with some of the other video game adaptations, and this isn't really a video game adaptation. It's really the adaptation of a true event. So here, let's get into the synopsis here. Based on the true story of Jean Marlborough, the film is the ultimate wish fulfillment tale of a teenage Gran Turismo player whose gaming skill won a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual professional race car driver. Um, this is directed by Neil Blomkamp, who's also done District 9, Chappie, Elysium, Demonic, like all those kind of movies. And it stars David Harbour as Jack Salter, Orlando Bloom as Danny Moore, and Archie Madekwe as John Marlborough. So I think the inclusion of David Harbour really brings a lot to the film. He's a very, also is Orlando Bloom, and there are definitely more people in the cast, but these are the three people that the main story plays around, right? Orlando Bloom is the Nissan executive that puts this thing together. David Harbour is the technician that's going to be training all these people to, all these players into becoming professional drivers. And then Archie plays Jean, who the story really centers around. Now, this is based on a true story. So I went into the theater knowing a little bit about the true life events. But not everything. Like I didn't know how. There's a big surprise that I was not ready for in the movie that really changed the tone. Because overall, like this is definitely a kind of paint by numbers film as far as the story goes. Like right, you have these challenges, you have this event, and things kind of happen that way. But I think Blomkamp and the team just really make it really fun. One of the things that I appreciated the most was the visuals. Like I there's something like I'm not like a car person, but there's something in movies when I do watch like things about cars, like Ford versus Ferrari or Rush and just things like that. Like I'm not saying this film is on par with those, but I think as far as the visuals and the level of detail that they go into with the cars in the game and the look of the film, like just making sure that things look authentic or at least appear to look authentic to an audience that is not fully delved into that world. I think it's really really cool. They really nail that aspect of it, and that really it brought in a lot for me as far as the film. Um, I was surprised at every turn when they would make a choice, because the movie definitely acknowledges that the game is important. It's an important part of the story, right? It knows that without that we wouldn't be telling the story, but it also wants to make sure that an audience that may not be familiar with the Gran Turismo game, that knows the level of detail and intricacy that the game actually has. It's a very good commercial for the game, actually, um, which makes it really really fun. It doesn't feel like it's in your face. It's also a big commercial for Nissan, who that the way that I don't know if I've been saying it wrong all my whole life because Orlando Bloom pronounces it as Nissan. I think he's playing a foreign character, maybe somebody based out of the UK. So maybe it's different the way it's pronounced over there. So I thought that was really funny, uh, because I have like my car is a Nissan. So and of course David Harbour just he brings to life this character who has been beaten down by the thing that he loves, and he's kind of stuck in a rut, and he finally has an opportunity, but obviously this opportunity comes with a lot of challenges and even danger, right? This sport, the racing is it can be a life and death situation, and that's something that the film definitely focuses on a lot. Like, it is not something to take lightly at all. So all those little details added into the film, from these characters, like very charismatic performances, like you very, or at least I very quickly endeared myself to our protagonist, because is just a kid that has a dream and is going up against the odds. There's a lot of interactions with his family, and obviously all that stuff is dramatized to make sure that it delivers a compelling story. But I think the film really nails it. Um, the pace is great. I think it's a little long. It definitely could have trimmed back. I think a 2 hour film would have been perfect, almost perfect, as far as the timeline, the pacing. But there's a lot of fun stuff to see all over the place. Like I said, if you are a video game person, if you are a car person, if you are somebody that just loves to see these based on a true story type of movies, I think you'll definitely enjoy this. I went into this with very low expectations, even maybe even without seeing any reviews, just because of how video game adaptations in the past, talking about Need for Speed specifically, uh, kind of just, they've stained this genre. Really, this type of movie, they it's got a bad reputation because of other things like that, but this is not that. I texted my buddy Austin, who I told, like, hey dude, I don't think this is going to be good at all, but I'm still going to go watch it because I get to watch it early. And I told him, look, I take everything I said back. You're going to love this film. I think you're going to enjoy it. So this was a very fun, unexpected surprise. Like I said, there are some twists and turns, no pun intended, that just really add another level to the film. The performances are just so good. The relationships between the people in them, like, it really feels like a human story, which is really the heart of what this should be. um, you know but it also makes sure that you understand that there is a level of, like, these people are taking this seriously. This isn't something that was just a goof, and maybe it started off as just like this marketing ploy campaign, but it ended up changing and touching a lot of lives. So that was really fun. It also reminds me that every time I watch a movie like this about racing, it reminds me to figure out, like, should I watch racing? Like, the racing feels like it's fun. I know this is an F1, but like F1 has a lot of storylines based on their drivers, just from what I hear and the people I talk to. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that'd be interesting. I think this is a good um, companion to. I don't, like I said, I don't want to say it's on the level of Ford versus Ferrari, but I think if you enjoy that, I think you'll probably enjoy something like this. Uh, it is definitely for a younger, maybe more modern audience. I think Ford versus Ferrari is more of a dad film, what they call, dad film. But this is definitely more for a skewed a little bit younger, but it's still very, very much enjoyable. Um, yeah, I don't have a lot of complaints. There was a few things where I was like, the dialogue doesn't really feel like people would say stuff like this. There's not even a villain. It's just I would say there is an antagonist in the film that feels very one dimensional, but to me they were almost irrelevant to the film. They were just kind of there as another obstacle to overcome, and that's really the only other thing that I'm like, why this film doesn't fully work for me. I don't know that I would have even cared. I don't know. I feel like the villain was there just to antagonize both David Harbour and Archie's character. So, but other than that, like I said, this is a lot of fun. Watch this in the biggest screen you can, because the sounds, like, I watched this in Dolby, so like the sounds in the background. There's a lot of music as well that is kind of interwoven into the story. I think pretty effectively overall. I don't feel like any of those needle drops ever took me out of the story, especially if these are some of the things that are part of the real story, right? Um, but yeah, the effects of the races and like the sound effects of like the cars and the engines and like all this stuff, just really cool. They have this really neat effect of like transitioning from the video game to the real world and vice versa. You've probably seen it a little bit in the trailers where the car kind of takes over, like, he's playing the video game and the car kind of just builds around them. Very cool fashion. And yeah, if you're a car person, you're gonna really enjoy this. I think there's a lot of detail that I was like, whoa, like cars are cool. So yeah, really enjoy this, but let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. Once again, this was out earlier to our Patreon, so check out the Patreon in the description if you want early videos. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.